snap.
Shalom. I want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Respect and honor to all you apostles and salutations to all you brothers who's laying your life down on the front line to preach this gospel of truth. Welcome to another episode of Glad Tidings Ministry. This is Saint Shemai. Okay, let's get into it. Today we're going to go over distractions. Why? Well, what's the point? Why are we going over distractions? Because distractions could be life or death for you. Okay, and when we're talking about distraction, we're not talking about carnal, but we can use it in that way, but we're talking about spiritual. This is talking about spiritual distraction blocking your blessings. Okay, so we're going to give you some illustrations. I'm the illustrator man, and I'm also going to give you some scriptures and other things. I hope you edify. Let's get into it.
Sometimes our mind wanders. And when we snap back to reality, we have no idea what we missed or how long we were gone. Daydreaming isn't the only thing that causes this inattention blindness. When we talk on the phone while driving, there are periods when we go blind to our environment without realizing it. So billboards, cars, kids playing, even stop signs and red lights can pass us by unnoticed. Certain things may seem harmless, but some activities just aren't safe to combine. Our brain is not wired to pay attention to more than one complex task at a time. What we're actually doing when we think we're multitasking is quickly shifting our focus from one activity to another. So while our mind is engaged in applying makeup, arguing with backseat drivers, fumbling for a water bottle, or a conversation, it's blind to the road. In fact, drivers are 4 times more likely to crash while talking on the phone, and 23 times more likely while texting. Driving can feel uneventful, but it really takes our full attention to keep the car on the road. We're surrounded by distractions that can hijack our focus. Whether we let them is up to us.
That's the illustration of a distracted mind. So now we're talking about distractions of the mind. Distractions. Okay? Distractions. All right? So now that we got into that, let's look up the root word of distractions. Let's go into the root word of distractions. And it brings into mind Hosea 4 to 6. Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Okay? And why are they destroyed for a lack of knowledge? It's distractions of the nations and the distractions of everything else, but except for this word, this Bible that's going to give them faith and keep them strong. Okay, distractions come from the Latin dis. Distraction comes from the Latin dis, apart, and try here means drag. So distractions when you're dragged away from your tasks or from your worries. Distractions. Okay, so that's a good illustration on distractions. And also we're going to look up easily distracted 11 tips. This is one of my favorites. Easily distracted. 11 tips on how not to get distracted. 1. Keep your vision and goals in mind. What does that remind you of? Without a vision, the people perish. That's in the scriptures. Okay? Without a vision, the people perish. So keep your vision and goals in mind. 2. Clarify your day before you start. Okay? Give you illustration. I won't read all of this, but I'll read some points. It says in the morning before you before your workday begins, dedicate a few minutes to managing your schedule. A great way to do it is by applying the Covey time management matrix. Okay, have a moment to set your priorities and determine which tasks are truly vital and urgent today. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Reduce the chaos of your day. If you have 20 tasks you need done every day, how effective do you think your focus ability would be? Not focus. So you have to put things in order. Okay. Okay. Um, Four, do those tasks as soon as possible. Okay. In order to make sure you get those 2 to 3 tasks done, you need to do them early in order to stay focused on the task without feeling overwhelmed. This means that as soon as you wake up, you're already plotting how to do them. Let's move it on. Five, focus on your smallest part of the work at a time. Focus on the smallest part of your work at a time. Um, an easy way to kill your focus is to see a goal for the big, giant accomplishment that it is. Most goals will at least take a few weeks to months to accomplish, and knowing that can make it feel like it'll take too long to do. This will cause you to do one of the two things. You become discouraged because the goal is too big. You, you fantasize about what it'll feel like to achieve the goal. Six, visualize yourself working. Six, visualize yourself working. We're gonna move it on. Seven, control your control your internal distractions. Let's read a little bit about that. Internal distractions are one of those problems you can really run away from. You need to find ways to prepare your mind from work and find simple ways to keep it from straying to non-essential thoughts in order to learn how to not get distracted. Priority chaos. For example, some people may find it hard to focus at home because there are too many options to choose from. You can choose to feed your dog, read a book, watch TV, have a snack, or take a nap. Okay, we're moving on. Um, this one is a big one. You can read that on your own. All right, I'm getting to the point. Um, it's a lot. Eight, remove external distractions. And nine, skip what you don't know. 10, improve your discipline with focus practice. We can read a little bit of this one. There are a few focus exercises you can do to improve your overall discipline. The first one is meditation, which is basically the definition of focus in practice. It is a great method for building focus. Don't be stupid and be like, oh, we meditating and we going to chant. And no, we talking about the meditating on what a meditation could comes in different forms. Quiet around your house, setting up quiet like a nice little incense, okay, a nice candle for good smell, okay, and just go in a place by yourself where you could concentrate. And then you can also outline the things and go over each thing 5 times, like repeat it 5 times in repetition, read it like 3 times, okay, until you get it. So there's the illustrations. All right, let's move on. And manage your momentum. Manage your momentum. What is that? Momentum is like a disciplined lubricant. It helps ease the process of sticking with goals. That's why I think it's important that we never take true breaks from our goals. We find end up losing we end up losing momentum and relying on discipline to get back to track. Not an easy thing to do. So those are one of the illustrations that you can look up. I have it on here, easily distracted, lifehack.org. You can go and look at that for to be more edifying. Okay. Now the next thing I want to read, I want to go from a book called Essentialism. And this book is called the Disciplined Pursuit of Less. And this is Greg McWowan. Okay. This is featuring the new Essentialism 21 Day Challenge. But we're going to go to page 209, and it is called, and the title of it is "The Power of the Right Routine." So you see that, the power of the right routine. And this is not big. We're gonna get to the point. According to researchers at Duke University, nearly 40% of our choices are deeply unconscious. We don't think about them in the usual sense. There is both danger and opportunity in this. The opportunity is that we can develop new abilities that eventually become instinctive. The danger is that we may develop routines that are counterproductive. Without being fully aware, we can get caught in non essential habits, like checking our email the second we get out of bed every morning, or picking up a donut on the way home from work each day, or spending out lunch hour trolling the internet instead of using the time to think, reflect, recharge. Now, hold on, I'm gonna finish this. It says, or connect with friends and colleagues. So, how can we discard the routines that keep us locked in non essential habits and replace them with routines that make executing essentials almost effortless? So, hey, we look at the things of the world that have us distracted. We look at the entertainment, the news, the football game. Now, come on, man, don't get on here and act like you're perfect because some of us watch a lot of these different sports. But is that your first priority? Is that the number one thing that you have a fetish for? Is that your heart, your number one habit that you constantly on? See, when we talking about spiritual things, the things like as I brought out in Hosea 4:6, our people is destroyed for a lack of knowledge. What is distracting our people? Entertainment, okay? Things and rumors of the world. You know, like some people even say, hey, that Bible is a white man Bible. Why are you reading that? And did you not know that they never even read that Bible? It's just a rumor that they was told and like an old man's tale that kept on passing by and down the generation. And nobody even thought about to look that up to see what that is. So we researching and looking up the Lord's word to see is all these things that we heard are true. Was King James a homosexual? Was That's a white man book. The real religion is Islam. Okay, we was all Islam. We being Moors. All these things that we are chasing is non-essential. The foundation that everybody get pieces of from the book as they make their own stories. They take it's like a puzzle. They take all the pieces from the Bible and try to make their own thoughts about it. But they all come from what? The Big Daddy, the Big Dipper. And when I mean the Big Daddy, the head nigga in charge, it comes from what? The spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah that's in the Bible, his words. That's why who you ignorantly call Christ said, I come in the volume of the book. So all these other he says and she say things were distractions from keeping you what? Who you really are. That's why that's important. Keeping you here who you really are. All right? So now we got to get into scriptures because that's the main focus. And let's get some of these illustrations on that. Mark 4:19. Let's get that. Mark 4:19. And listen, and it said, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in, and did it choke the word, and it become unfruitful. So what is choke? And the key is, excuse me, of the riches and other lust entering and choke the word.
Strong's G 4846. Supnigo. Supnigo.
Okay, it says to choke utterly. Then it says metaphorically, the seed of the divine word sown in the mind, to press round or throng one so almost to suffocate him. That's the one, to suffocate him, to choke, to stop that word to produce it. So they give you all these fairy tales and lies, and none of you, Hosea 4:6, look up the word. None of you try to look into the Bible. Your Bible's collecting dust on the table, and you go by what somebody else tell you. Okay? And let's go to this one.
Strong's G 4862. Soon. Soon.
Okay, instrumental, addition, and beside, and composition. That's not the one we're gonna go to. Anyway, the first one was good. Okay, now the second one is Romans 12 and 2. Is Romans 12 and 2. And be not conformed to this world. What is conformed? What do they mean by being conformed? Break it down to keep it simple. And be not conformed. What is that talking about?
Strong's G 4964. Suschematizo. Suschematizo.
I ain't even going to try to pronounce that. But anyway, to conform oneself, one's mind and character to another pattern, fashion oneself according to, yeah, so what we're trying to do is fashion ourselves according to what? The heathens, um, to the heathens, to the heathens curriculum, to the world's curriculum, but not into the form of not into the form of the body of Yahweh. We trying to form ourselves into that, okay? Which is a non-factor, which is not important. And we tried all the other stuff, but they've tried to tell us, and it got us nowhere. We still the number one, last one hired, first one fired, the number one being incarcerated, the number one they ain't got no job, the number one women's leaving them, or just chaos for our lives because we're trying to follow them, and we have our own blueprint, and it's different from them. And we only way you're gonna know that if you study to show yourself approved. And a man comes to teach you through the divine spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Then you get this word, you start looking it up, and you start understanding. So this is the focus point. These are the distractions that they give us to make us slip and fall. Big booty girls. Ain't nothing wrong with having a nice woman with a nice body, but that's not the number one thing. The number one thing is she can have a nice body, but where's the mind? She can have a nice body, but where's the mind? Remember the old saying they used to say, KRS One. The girls look so good, but their brain is not ready. I don't know. I'd rather talk to a woman, cause her mind is so steady. Y'all know about that. All right, so back to the program. So we're going to go to Hebrews 12 and 2. Hebrews 12 and 2. Hebrews 12 and 2. And who wrote the Bible? The Hebrews. Abba. Looking unto Yahweh, the author and finisher of our faith. That's deep, and he is the author and the finisher of our faith. Because that's the only one who's going to give us salvation and bring us salvation. You can't talk to Yahweh directly, God directly. You can't even have no conversation with him. You got to have it with his son first. And then the son goes and talk to the Father as the mediator for you. And you can't skip that process because that's the way it is. Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. What is that? He endured suffering. He endured persecution. Okay? Despising the shame, and it is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. Okay? So that's that. Then you got Proverbs 4:25. Let's go to that. Proverbs 4:25. Let's read that. What's that talking about? Proverbs 4:25. Let thy eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all the ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Stay focused. Keep your course, man. Don't be distracted by the things of the world, because if you do, that would be the death of you. Yahweh is coming back, man. And it's times is getting, rough. Shut up, Shemai. This been happening from the beginning of time. That's one of the scriptures I brought out a while too. It says, I'm just paraphrasing it. It says, from the day of our father's time, you have said that the world was going to be destroyed, and it still have not been destroyed. So those people don't believe you. Oh, you've been saying it. I even heard people say that when I was on the streets preaching. Y'all been saying that so long, the world is still here. That's because no real suffering have hit you yet. But it's gonna hit your black behind, and you're gonna see. That's what the whole thing. People don't really believe in any of these things until it really happened to them. And then when it happens to them, it's too late. Get things right now. Don't wait till it's too late to try to get things to fix things. And that's what happens with Jake. Our Jake is we using a symbolic as black people, our people, the Israelites. Okay. So the Jakes wait until the last moment, knowing that they got to pay their rent, and then they wait till the last thing trying to get the rent up. Okay, bullshitting around, being distractions, hanging out, buying outfits, smoking blunts. You know what I'm saying? Chasing um women. You know what I'm saying? But their priorities not right. See what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden they're behind 2 months rent, and now the rabbit hole gets deeper. They can't even catch up. They can't even catch up to pay it. So now what? All their clothes is out on the street. These leads to different things. You know, a lot of the things that we go through in life, it's because of the things that we cause. Don't blame it on God. Don't blame it on so-called who you call God, and don't blame it on the devil. Nigga, it's you. You don't got your priorities right. It's you. So don't be losing the Lord's name in vain talking about the Lord and bless me. Nah, it's you. You make bad judgment, then you want to go blame it on the Lord, blame it on the devil, and blame it on the white man, which he has a lot of um, stuff behind your failure. But with the book will let you to look out for the snares and the traps, to prepare about the things the things that the so-called white man is trying to do to destroy you, to get you in these traps and get you incarcerated. And one of the books is the Bible. That's the secret. The Bible that you don't you think that is a white man's book. That's the secret. Read it. So stay focused. Last one is Matthew 14:28. Read that. Matthew. Matthew 14, 28. And Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thy, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahweh, who you can call Jesus. But when he saw the wind, the boisterous, he was afraid and beginning to sink. And he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahweh, who you can call Jesus, stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore did thou doubt? Why did I doubt? Because what happened when Peter seen a little bit of wind, Peter got distracted by everything around him, and that's what made him fail and not have the faith and sink into the water. And it said say to Christ, "Help me!" So that's why not being we can't be distracted. We got to stay focused. And here's the number one thing why I bring this up, and it makes sense. Keep your things in the heaven where rust and moth do not consume. And then it says, keep, it says, what does it say? Just paraphrase it. It says, seek the kingdom of heaven first, and all these other things will come to you. That's the one. Seek the kingdom of heaven first, and all these other things will come to you. You're going to get all these things, man. When this kingdom, remember, it says Esau is the end of the kingdom, and Jacob is the one there. Esau is the end of the kingdom, and Jacob is the one is the beginning of thereof. I'm saying that wrong, but people know. My brothers know what I'm saying. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of thereof to come. So that don't mean the world's going to be blown up, okay? And everything going to be destroyed. Parts of the world, like America, but the Lord didn't make all of this creation just to destroy it, because you niggas ain't that important like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing, man. You got to stay focused on His word because that's what's going to keep us strong. That's going to keep us rooted. Don't get distracted. Yo, sometimes we do watch little things in the movies and stuff like that. Yo, but we only human. But don't let that be your first thing. That don't let that be your first love. This is your first love. And these scriptures, praying, okay, getting your mind ready for what's about to come. And it's about to come. All right. So let me go back to this ending. You know, I like to give illustrations, and this is going to be the end of this video. I did this like 3 times. Hopefully that it was recorded this time. You know, so let me go to almost done. Now this is an old throwback kung fu movie from back in the days we used to always do. And the reason why I'm using this is because it was how we had to focus and just a good illustration. I just wanted to go. Let me start from the beginning, my bad. Focus, no distractions.
To stand between the incense urn.
Sir.
Man who wants to fight, he must have perfect eye. Now you watch the light. Watch the light now, and when it moves, your eyeballs must follow it round. But one thing you don't do, that is to let your head move at all. Begin. I told you, you do not let your head move.
Shalom. Hope you was edified. Another episode of Glad Tidings Ministry. Saint Shema.